heard some of the crazy things that are being said by conservatives? Oh, yes, it's time for Psycho Talk. Oh, what a sweet irony we have here tonight in the Psycho Talk zone. It's radio talk show host Michael Savage again. Well, you know his real name. I have to remind you that it's Michael Weiner. You know, remember, he's the guy that the British Home Secretary Jackie Smith banned from the United Kingdom for fostering extremism. Now, they don't want Weiner on the other side of the pond. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But here's the irony. Guess who Weiner needs help from now? He wants Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's help to get him off the UK ban list. Hillary Clinton, can you believe that? Now, this is the same guy who calls Hillary a fraud, a yokel, a very dangerous person. Listen to this.
One of the people who's waiting in the wings, who is a very dangerous human being, is Hillary Clinton. I would take anybody over her. I would take anybody over this fraudulent huckster, this yokel, this dangerous yokel. We had 8 years of Hillary Clinton. You don't know what's coming if she becomes president? Well, I called her Evita Peron 10 years ago.
Get down on your knees, Savage. He wants Clinton's help. Now, he had his lawyers send a letter to the Secretary of State asking that she call the British government to withdraw the ban. Now, the letter, quote, respectfully demands that Clinton and the State Department take all necessary steps to call on the UK to rescind the ban. Now, here's an idea. Maybe I should send a letter over to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and say, "Dear Madam Secretary, would you please encourage other world leaders to ban Weiner from their countries?" Let's start with Argentina for that Evita Peron comment. You know, on second thought, you might want to warn the entire continent of South America. And while you're at it, I'm not sure Europe, Asia, and Africa should really be exposed to savage beast either. That's right. We're calling for an international Weiner ban, but Savage asking for Hillary Clinton's help? Oh, that is Psycho Talk.
It's time for a couple of holy mackerel stories in today's news. One of the most puzzling unresolved loose ends from the last election has been the strange case of Marilyn Musgrave. Musgrave's a staunch conservative. While she was on the school board in Fort Morgan, Colorado, she was known for quite literally blacking out passages that she found offensive in school textbooks, like blacking them out with a Sharpie. As a state legislator, she pushed for allowing concealed weapons on school campuses in Colorado. After she was elected to Congress, the first thing she did was introduce legislation banning gay marriage. Now, Congresswoman Musgrave lost in November. She lost badly, 56 to 44. She lost to Democrat Betsy Markey. What has made Musgrave's case so strange since is that to this day, more than 6 months after the election, Musgrave still hasn't conceded. In fact, after the election, Musgrave just disappeared. She never so much as even thanked her staff, let alone congratulated the winner of the race. Now, Ann Schroeder at Politico.com reports that Musgrave has finally resurfaced, sending out a 4-page, bolded, underlined, exclamation-pointed, italicized missive on letterhead that reads, "Congressman Marilyn Musgrave." In the letter, Ms. Musgrave announces a new project to expose, in her words, pro-abortion politicians. The project is called Votes Have Consequences. She also explains that she lost re-election because, quote, "the radical homosexual lobby, abortionists, gun grabbers, and all the rest of the extremists finally spent enough money, spread enough lies, and fooled enough voters to defeat me." So, welcome back, Marilyn Musgrave. Representative Betsy Markey's office tells us you still haven't called to concede. If you email us at rachel@msnbc.com, we can hook you up.
Tonight's WTF moment coming up. A website has turned my mother's death into a sleazy gossip item. That'll be next. But first, time for Countdown's number 2 story. Tonight's other worst person in the world. A bronze to fix news. His lead story last night, how Saul Alinsky is programming MSNBC in the White House from the grave. Well, let's put this thing into perspective. Talk radio has always had its share of hate mongers. Some right-wingers make a living doing this, and on the left, the Air America network was all hate all the time. And then it went bankrupt. Then a couple of years ago, NBC News began peddling hate on its cable network. Then a few months ago, the Obama administration tried to brand the Republican Party as a place of fanaticism. Anything missing from that chronology? Oh yeah, first there was talk radio hate, then there was Fox News hate, starring failed local news reporters, which they left out. Our runner-up, Harold Hill. No, it's not that he's hiring his writers off Craigslist, which he is. It's this about global warming.
Carbon dioxide is basically this. Look how much pollution I just put out.
Listen to how much pollution you just put out, you mean. Listen. But our winner, Michael P. Leahy, co-founder of the nationwide Tea Party Coalition. Now, if you're old enough, you'll remember when the Teabag Boys and Girls were just a grassroots organization and not a bunch of sheep ordered around by professional politicians like Republican Governors Perry of Texas and Sanford of South Carolina. They were inspired instead not by people with personal axes to grind, but just in opposition to paying taxes. One of the favorite means from the lunatic fringe to criticize public figures is to trot out the record of every tax disagreement they've ever had with the government. The right has used it on me, even though if you pay 7 figures in taxes every year, the government will disagree with you on some of it. And if it's, say, more than $200, they will file a lien against you to protect the $201, even as they are discussing with you the chance that you do not owe them the $201. Having said that for context, the website tblogging.com reports that an ordinary internet search produced this startling fact about Tea Party Coalition co-founder Leahy. Over 16 years, he's had a few judgments filed against him for unpaid taxes, small claims court judgments, and civil suits. Nearly $150,000 worth. So what's the point in protesting taxes if you're not going to bother paying them anyway? Michael P. Leahy, Tea Partyist, today's worst person in the world, except for the next guy after the commercial.